guys, welcome back to my channel. Today the shot looks a little bit different from my past few videos because I'm shooting on my iPhone, and that's because I need this camera because we are talking all about the Canon Powershot V1. If you've been a subscriber for a while, you'll know that I got this camera when I was visiting my sister in Dallas, and it was not really a journey to find it, but I just know how popular this camera was, how many people were waiting for it. I was one of them, and we called one store, it was sold out, and I was like, there is no hope left. And then we finally found one at a local camera shop. So first off, this isn't going to be a super technical review, okay? So if you want one of those super technical reviews with all of the features and just all the fine details of that, I can't give that to you because I'm not an expert in that. So my background is I'm a former TV news reporter. I know how to shoot video, edit video. I know how to storytell through video. So I know all those things and I know what makes a good camera. But when it comes to the fine details, I'm not your girl for that. And there are plenty of other videos that can give you that information. So my review is going to be more based on how it works for me in terms of shooting YouTube videos, vlogging, why I chose this camera compared to my other Canon camera, which is this one, the Canon EOS M5, I believe. Yes, the Canon EOS M5, and why I decided to sell my Sony ZV-E10, which if you saw that vlog, then you know I sold it to get this. And then I'll also talk about the ease of vlogging with this camera and just how it's been moving around with that versus the Sony ZV-E10 and just overall usage of it. So I guess you can kind of call this a lifestyle review of the Canon Powershot V1. So I'm gonna be switching back and forth from my phone to the actual Canon camera. I'll get that set up in a little bit, but I would just wanna show you guys and give you a good look of the camera itself. So compared to the Sony ZV-E10, it's about the same body size, but the lens is it's more compact, right? So if I turn it on, it comes out like that. Whereas with the Sony ZV-E10, it's a interchangeable lens. And I really thought that was something that I wanted, but then I never ended up buying another lens. So for me, I wasn't getting the full use of that camera, so that's why I decided to sell it. But overall, it is a more compact camera. It is considered point and shoot, and it is the newest one that Canon has released in a few years, like a good few years. So when I had bought the Sony ZV-E10, I was thinking, no one knew at that point when Canon was going to release this camera, but they knew they'd be coming out with one eventually. So I'm glad I bought that camera, and I'm glad I was able to get this. So very easy to hold, and it fits nicely in a bag. It also fits, now I can show you, because I talked about this in one of my other videos. Let me go get the bag. My Longchamp pouch. I also got this when I was in Dallas, and it fits perfectly in here. Of course, you can't fill it up, but if I can show you, there's still plenty of space. Now, I wouldn't normally do this. I would make sure I don't have anything that could potentially scratch the camera, but it works. So I like the compact size. I like that it's much lighter than my Sony ZV-E10. Well, it's not mine anymore, than my old Sony ZV-E10. And while it didn't come with a case, the case I do use, it's somewhere here. So this is the pouch I use as a case for the camera. It is the perfect size. I did not buy this separately or anything. It actually came with my Dagny Dover duffel bag. And it's got a good amount of cushion, and it's not bulky. So to me, I think this is the perfect case for it. But I'm also someone that takes extra careful care of anything like this, like my camera, where I know it could break and it was expensive. So I want to make sure that I do my best in protecting it when I'm traveling or just moving around, running errands, and I'm vlogging. This gets the best treatment. Anyway, so let's go ahead and open up the camera. And now it is pretty simple in terms of the features. And this would be easier if I was actually shooting on the camera, but let's see if this can focus. Maybe it won't. I'll have to like take off the phone off the tripod. But anyway, so if I am shooting selfie style, this screen will rotate this way. And then I can also angle it if I'm shooting, like it can be like this, it can be like this, like you can do a lot with it. And then of course, if you have noticed, and you might have noticed, I've started shooting a lot of my social content in terms of like my Instagram reels, TikToks, anything, any vertical video, I've been shooting with this lately just because the quality is just so good. So what I'll do is I'll set it up on my tripod like this, and then I'll angle this that way so that it's kind of hanging like this. And the other reason why I've started doing this more lately is because I have the Canon Connect app, and which also works for this, but I didn't utilize that app as much as I do now with this camera. And I think it's because I've just been using this more for my social content compared to this, where it was more focused on my long form YouTube videos and photography. This is still a great camera. I was considering selling this, but I decided against it because I love the photos that this captures. So now what I'll do is I'll shoot my social content on this, and then I will Bluetooth it to my phone, and then I have that great quality video on my phone that I can edit and then post. So it's just been really nice and really convenient. Also, another huge plus is the battery. So when I first got this camera, I thought I was gonna have to get a whole new battery for it because I was like, oh, new camera, new battery. But then I started thinking, wait, this battery looks just like the other one that I have for my other camera. So then I pulled out the one from this camera and it was exactly the same. It's charging right now because I was just shooting on my camera a little bit ago before shooting this. And so it's charging, it was dead. But how great is that? So convenient, which means I have a spare battery and an actual charger. I wanna see if I can show you a shot of the camera from the phone, but through the camera. You know, like, I don't know how. It's kind of like an Inception deal. So let's see. So here's how the framing of my phone is. This is on the regular lens. I'm not 0.5, I'm not super zoomed in. And now here's a shot, if you can see, let's try it, of the camera. If I hold it up to where, like, look how wide that is. I know I'm like leaning in, but I'll have to switch the camera. I'll just switch the camera, this isn't gonna work. So when it comes to tripods for this camera, if I am vlogging, I use this one. This is from Amazon. It is super compact, great for travel, and it extends like this, which is perfect for when you are vlogging. So let me just put this on. Let me just put this together right quick. It feels secure, but of course I'm not just gonna like throw my camera around. I'm still very careful. You have to be careful with all of your camera equipment. So if I'm walking around, okay, let's say I got to see myself. So I'm like this. So this is what we did, my sister and I, when we were at the Fort Stockyards. I always get the names mixed up. I always get the name mixed up. But we're walking around like this, and I feel like it's just so convenient and so nice because you really don't need to hold it that far. Like, this is the perfect length away from you. Whereas if it didn't extend, I feel like it still would be a little too close normally. But with this camera, the angle is so wide. It's a really nice wide angle lens, which is really why I wanted this camera, because it's a good size point and shoot, and it has a good wide angle lens on such a small body. So to me, this is perfect for vlogging. Also, the mic also works really well. It's right over here, but if you wanted, you could clip on the hot shoe right here, like a Rode mic, which I have, but it's just perfect. It also came with a windscreen, but now where is that? Where did I put, did it come with a windscreen? Let me find everything that it came with. I'm a little confused. But anyways, we are now going to transition to the camera itself so that you can see the difference in the quality. I do have light set up, so you'll see a little bit of the lighting, and I have a window right next to me over here, and maybe the audio as well. It's just a really big difference. If I hold it up to where, like, look how wide that is. I know I'm like leaning in, but I'll have to switch the camera. I'll just switch the camera. This isn't gonna work. So we are officially shooting on the Canon Powershot V1, and you can see just how wide this angle is. It is so awesome. I absolutely love it because it is easier for me to do videos where I have like maybe something right here on my lap, like if I'm doing a purse video, what's in my bag, pack my bag with me, and normally it's cut off, but then it was difficult. But now it's easy, so I can take one of my tote bags like this and I can just back up a tiny bit and show you. I could angle this down a little more if I wanted. So there's just a lot more possibilities with this camera. And then of course, if I don't want it super zoomed out, because you can see the vacuum, you can see the door, you can see all this, I can always do a zoom in, which is nice and smooth when you're already rolling. And of course, it's much faster if I am not recording. So I'll zoom out a tiny bit, but I wanted to show you everything that it came with. So the camera, which is now on the tripod, a charging cord, which is very small. So of course you're gonna need a brick. Is this the right one? I thought it was it's UBS, this is not the right one. This is not the right one. I got nervous for a second. I thought I couldn't find my cord, but here it is. This isn't it. And trying to find my cord for my camera, I spilled my loaded tea. So that sucks, but I am cleaning it up right away. This should be able to come off. This should be able to come out no problem. Never spill anything like this. This is ridiculous. Okay, well, after all of that mess, I realized it didn't come with a charging cord, because I remember, and I think it's on my Dallas vlog, that I just remember thinking like, wow, it doesn't even come with a charging cord. And I remember wanting to charge my camera, but I had to use my sister's charger because she has the newer iPhone. And so I didn't have the right cord for it. Wow. Could have saved my rug the green spill, but everything seems to be coming out perfectly because I attacked it right away. And so I'm letting some of this shout sit on it for a little bit. I've already soaked up all the green. You can barely see it now. So I think we're fine. It also got on this a little bit, but it's okay. I'm not super worried about this. I'll just throw this in the wash. It'll be fine. Zoom in a tiny bit. So back to everything that came with the camera. So no charging cord. So it's up to you to figure out how to charge your camera. USB-C. USB-C is the cord it takes. It came with these things. A little windscreen that easily slides on top of the camera. And then this arm strap. And you can put it right onto, so if you're holding the camera, it'll be on the left side of it. I really don't use these. I feel like I would use this if it was more of like a, maybe for photography, but since this camera is really for me to shoot video, I really don't use this at all, so that's why I keep it in here, which is, and then I think back to my old Canon camera from like high school, which I have it right here. Let me go get it. I graduated high school in 2008, and so this was the camera that I carried with me everywhere. This is, I don't even know what this is, Canon Digital IX US 860 IS. Only 8 megapixels, which is wild. And then the screen was pretty big. And so this has the strap. So this was really useful back then because, you know, I wasn't taking video, I was just taking pictures. So it was nice, but I just don't use it as much anymore. This still turns on, but this won't come out. So, lens error, restart camera. But it has a video and camera option, if you can see right there. My first camera was a silver Nikon digital camera. That was my first digital camera. And then I got this, and I think my parents, and my mom still has that one in the house somewhere. So this is my old one, and I still have it. So can like kind of see the evolution of my camera collection. I also have a film camera, one of those old school film cameras, which is also back at my mom's house. But the camera came with a manual, the windscreen, and then the arm strap. And then that was pretty much it. Everything else you have to get on your own. If you want to buy a mic, if you want a separate mic, you can buy that. I have the Rode mics, and it comes in this case. It's so cute and so convenient actually, because you can charge the case. So then if you are out and about, put your mics back in here and it'll charge from the case. So that's super convenient. And then you have your lav mics and everything, all the other accessories in another box. The cord that I thought was the charging cord was actually the charging cable for this Rode mic box. When it comes to the other accessories I have for my cameras, I've got a lot of different lights. I have a light that can go on top of the camera. I have so many different tripods. I've got this one for travel for my phone. I've got this one for the camera. I could definitely use my camera on this, but this is a much lighter tripod compared to the camera, so I don't know if I would feel as safe. Definitely not safe with this mirrorless camera. But overall, in terms of the camera itself, I think it is great quality. I love that the zoom is nice and smooth when you are actually rolling, when you're capturing video. It just helps it's just more stabilized that way. Also, the stabilization from the videos I've watched and what I've read about the camera, it is much better compared to other cameras in terms of like smaller point and shoot cameras. I think color-wise, I think it's great. Right now, it looks dark because of my setup. My window isn't the biggest. This wood plank wall, not my fave, but it totally does not help my case if it was a brighter color. The plan is to paint all the walls in our house a creamy white color, and so it would just make the biggest difference in the world in my videos, I think. Audio-wise, I think the audio quality is great. Wherever I am holding the camera, it captures audio from that side, that angle. It doesn't come with its own separate charger, but if you already have a Canon camera, you might be in the same situation that I was, or that I currently am, where you already have that stuff that came with your old camera, and it probably uses the same battery, which means you can use the same charger. So you can either charge your camera from the camera itself, or through just the charger for the battery itself. So overall, I think this is a great camera. And again, this is my lifestyle review for the Canon Powershot V1. And so the other reason why I like the ZV-E10 is because you could move the lens yourself, like to help focus. And that's what I was used to from being a news reporter, working with those big cameras, is that I would have to manually focus. And so I thought I would use that feature more with the Sony ZV-E10 because I wasn't out vlogging with the camera as much as I thought I would be. Whereas with this, I feel like I'm vlogging all the time. I'm carrying around this camera all the time just because it is easier. It is lighter. I think the focus is really nice as well. So if right now it's focused on me, but if I hold up something, like it immediately focuses on this. But it will also follow my head because it just knows. It's smart. So I will make sure to link everything that I mentioned in this video, whatever I can, whatever is still available, as well as the camera itself. I got mine from a local camera shop, but I think it's still on Canon's website. Every time I checked before I got it, it was always on back order. And then finally, I think they got more. They should also be available on Best Buy and sites like that. So I'll link what I can. If you have any specific questions about anything, leave them down in the comments. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you all in the next one.